On this episode of the 850 Armor Works Armor Bites podcast.
Hold on.
In a world.
Are we still recording?
Yeah, get him, whatever.
In a world where people dress up in costumes from the movies.
Come on, give me some lines. I need something.
This is your pig. I'm holding the tail.
Two men thought that they were just going to make a costume.
It's what I always wanted. It's what started this.
They didn't know how much more it was going to be.
25 years in review. You just wanted a blaster, and here we are now.
Or how much more it was going to cost.
All right, chop those up, make something out of that. We're not saying that Pensacon is bad, allegedly.
No.
It is allegedly not bad.
It's allegedly fun to go out and hang out with your friends.
Allegedly.
While they're...
Allegedly.
Yeah, I have a good time.
Allegedly, it's a good time.
I don't care. Huh?
No, there's no sponsor
No,
this week.
we had a sponsor.
No, there's no sponsor this week.
Just for you.
We're gonna get sued or something.
It's
we're gonna
free
get
advertisement.
We're gonna get a cease and desist from Raid Shadow Legends.
Today's video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends, one of the biggest mobile role-playing games of 2019, and it's totally free.
They're gonna be like, stop. We don't
they-
want you pretending that we're sponsoring you.
Hey, welcome back to another 850 Armor Works Armor Bites podcast episode. I have no idea.
We've lost track at this point.
Yeah, I have no idea. We're in the double digits. We got that. But this will be our last podcast for 2023. Yay! No more 23. Oh, well, this will be launching in 2024.
Yeah,
Never
it'll be
mind.
airing in
So,
2024.
Yeah, but this is the last one we're recording in 2023. Yay! But yeah, sorry for the long hiatus. There's some personal issues going on, and for all the people that were following along since Thanksgiving, we've really just been busting some serious butt. So having an hour to sit down and record a podcast just hasn't quite been in the cards. Has it, James?
No, it hasn't been for me.
No.
We had a death in the family, then I got a really bad sinus infection, then I screwed up my knee and couldn't walk, and...
Was it that arrow? That arrow to your
yeah.
knee?
No idea what it is. No idea. I've got an MRI scheduled.
Yeah, we're
so-
getting old.
Yeah.
We are old, but we're
Yeah.
getting older.
The
Yes.
suspicion right now is that I tore my meniscus doing literally nothing at all.
No, once we hit probably mid-30s, it's not a matter of... what are the words I'm looking for?
It's all downhill from
yeah,
here.
it's you sneeze and you throw out your back.
I literally
Yeah.
did that.
Right, exactly. I know, it's just...
I sneezed the wrong way and I blew out a disc and had to get another spinal surgery.
I am like snap, crackle, pop whenever I'm getting up and getting down. Both knees popping, ankles popping.
It makes you think about when you were a kid, you know, and it's like everybody was like, oh, you know, live fast, die young, leave a beautiful corpse. And it's like, no, you're fucking foolish. You're an idiot. Don't do that. Kids, take care of your bodies.
Yeah. Youth is wasted on the young. No, not that doesn't mean
absolutely
other
is.
people. That means your young knees and your young back
Yeah.
and your young elbows and hands and fingers and everything
hips.
else and hips. Oh gosh, the hips.
I have
Especially-
one
oh.
femoral head that's semi-flattened now
Oh.
because of everything over the years.
Yeah, and, of course I'm misread the sciatica. Just
Sciatica.
whatever. Dude, I can't pronounce that word.
Sciatica. Makes you think
Yeah.
of going, you know, downhill on the slopes. We're going to go to sciatica.
Well, that's what it feels like. You just went downhill on the slopes and your nerves are burning and you can't do anything about it. You're like, oh, the pain. Oh, go away.
Yeah.
And then it just like stops. You're like, oh, okay. And you're
Yeah,
fine
'cause
for like 2 weeks.
Your back moved the right way and decompressed that nerve that was being pinched. So,
Oh, so I guess enough about us being old.
yeah.
So topic today is year in review, 2023. Well, that was a great year. See you later. That's my review. That was a great year. Kind of.
Could have been better, could have been worse.
It's from a certain point of view. I was like, we could recap it like podcast by podcast, but
No, we
man,
don't
I
need to
can't
do that.
remember what we talked about for about half of these. There were lead times and cat ears and
Well, I mean, if somebody wants to recap the podcast, they could just go watch back through the podcasts.
well, they can, but that's requires effort. They could just click on our video right here. Or speaking of clicking, go ahead and click on liking and subscribing and sharing and commenting and doing all that stuff. It's not your first day on YouTube, so yeah, take care of that.
Well, a behind-the-scenes look, a like and a comment, just those two simple little engagement things drive the metrics that everything on YouTube is based off of.
Yeah, we got to break over, 300 views per podcast. I mean, it's small goals, little goals.
All right.
I'll take it. No, 1 million views. So, it has been a year. It was probably better than 22. And it was definitely better than 20 and 21. I mean,
Yeah.
I kind of want to forget those 2 years have happened at this point. Maybe as we get older, we will lose those brain cells. We won't have it anymore.
Maybe.
Oh, hiding.
Did he get that in front of the other camera too there?
No, I don't know. Nowadays, checking light levels. And we're back. So, we got a new table in here for the podcasting.
Highlight of the year.
Highlight right here, new table. Yeah. I guess they picked it up somewhere, and then someone repainted the top. Well, pretty cool, new table. We're sitting closer to a TV now. I've been sniffing a lot of paint here the past week,
Clearly.
among other things.
Clearly.
Paint, Bondo, fiberglass. Yeah.
Tell you what, let's try and focus a little bit. So, year in review, what have you gotten as far as this past year, like as far as the printers go? Just because we have a 3D printed piece sitting in front of us.
Well,
Have you changed fluids? It looks like you've got a couple of different resins that have been used.
well, these are just different colors.
Okay.
It's all the same material. They're just different colors. And
Okay.
I think these sections were black. These were gray. Sometimes it's a matter of just what we have. And it all gets painted anyway, so don't worry about it too much. Now, I can tell y'all this. At the end of 2022, when the first large format resin printer got here, I said, you're going to see a lot of big changes coming in 2023. And, that's definitely happened. So one of many of the major things that have happened is we've been able to offer weapons. So these have been great. Y'all are doing a great job ordering them. Thank you.
Not just being able to offer weapons, but offering the larger weapons, especially that have to be printed in much larger pieces because of the new
and obviously these
scale
are all
printers.
sections. The printer doesn't. We don't just push go and out pops this rifle. There are printers like this that can do that. We don't have that kind of funding around here. Like the E22, I think it's 5 different print files, so I can have one basically either within 24 hours if running all 6 of our machines, or over the course of about a week if just running it on one machine. And again, like the main feature, the main benefit of having the resin printed versus PLA is you're not sanding 5 million print lines.
Yep.
So we're able to finish these a lot faster. When y'all get them, y'all are able to finish them a lot faster. They can take a little bit more special care. I mean, face it, you drop anything, you're potentially going to break it anyway. Like this one has a steel rod running through it for a little extra reinforcement.
I was wondering about the weight when I picked it up.
It's got a little weight to it, and it was mostly that rod that added some weight. It's not exactly a light blaster to begin with, but it's still not that bad. This was one of the changes to offer. Another thing was the amount of master production we've been able to do. So it sped up our master creation time, our
The
processing
master
time.
being the master molds that are used back in the shop for production work.
Correct. So if we want to do a chest plate, it's either going to run on one printer or it's a couple prints, and we glue it together and we prep it, and we're able to test form it and get those in. The previous methods were printing an FDM, gluing all that together, fixing everything up, prepping it, making another mold, and and then putting it into production. So it's really sped things up. I counted up how many new vac forming molds we made this year, and at the time I counted it, I think it was 85 new forming molds.
Which, prior to 3D printing, how many would you make in a single year?
We printed before, but
yeah, but I just mean before printing at all.
Oh, each project was 6 months.
Yeah.
Just it's a 6-month hand sculpting project because you're trying to do other things, and now you have some sculpting time. So yeah, it's a year-long process. We're probably sitting on, it's hard to estimate, easily upwards of 300 molds for vacuum forming, easily. And we've got our secret project running right now. I don't want to mention that secret project because we took in a bunch of pre-orders from an airsoft group, so they've basically funded the project. We're going to offer it out to everybody else, but it's something I've been wanting to do for a long time. It's already about halfway done right now. All the masters are printed. We just got to start setting them up. So yeah, we're definitely at like probably 300. We probably did over 100 molds just in 2023
it's been a productive
alone.
year as far as being able to not just offer things to for sale for the buyers, but being able to do things in the shop.
Sure, it's so much faster, easier.
Rapid prototyping is a wonderful thing.
I was dreaming about this technology as far back as I can remember in like 07, looking at little bitty FDM printers when they were just in their infancy, and like, wow, if I could ever get that for making armor and costumes, that would be amazing. And it's like, well, here we are.
Here we are.
And it's doing it. It's if I want something, I can just pretty much make it. I am the worst person to Christmas shop for. As I've been told by my wife several times, no, I'm not buying you printer resin. I'm like, oh man, why not? You can just make it, or we'll get something, we'll buy something, or see something on the shelf, and I'll like start looking at it like, I can just print this. Like, why? For my wife specifically, the biggest thing is like looking at her Amazon list. She probably had 15 different types of vases on her Amazon list. And you're talking about like vases, $40, $50, $60 a piece. I'm looking at it and like, no, I'm not paying $40 plus for a vase, dear. I think I downloaded like 100 different vase models and said, here, look at these. Tell me what you want. I can change the shape and the scale and everything.
Things like vases, to me, I just don't understand the point. But
you hadn't been to my house in a while anyway.
Something else that comes up to think of is, as far as the year in review, is some of the changes in direction of the shop. We're still doing the Star Wars stuff and everything like that, but you personally have shifted over towards the Mandalorian side much more heavily.
Well, that's still Star Wars.
Well, I'm sorry, Empire or Rebels.
Right.
Yeah, it's still Star Wars. I was
right.
thinking like, Imperial costumes or Rebel costumes. You've changed your focus a lot more over towards the Mando stuff.
That story,
which is really, the story's insignificant, but it's
still
opened
has
up.
meaning.
It's opened up a new world, because now we're able to do a lot more of the really customized Mandalorian stuff.
Correct.
You're much more active locally with the Mandalorians,
Right.
which really helps drive the innovation and things like that.
That story goes back to the last day of March, whatever it was, the 30th or 31st, and wee morning hours of April 1st when we were at MegaCon. And Jose, the Mandalorian house leader, came up after and gave a real big speech about how all the clans and the costume clubs were together there at MegaCon. And they had representation from every clan. But I was just sitting there listening to the speech, and I was just going like, not every clan is here, because our clan in Northwest Florida, we had nobody there. Technically, I would have been, but I wasn't really in progress of a Mandalorian. I was kind of heading in that direction.
Yeah.
I had some parts I had done in a box,
But
but
you
it just
hadn't
got put,
fully built
no,
the costume that
and we
early
had
in the
some
year.
molds. We did have some things, and we did provide some parts, but it was just like, hey, we got this. We're doing this anyway. That project was done for another local group, and we was like, okay, they're just here. But when he finished his speech and I was listening to that, he went back to the bar and was sitting by himself. And I saw him do that, and I just went straight to the bar. Sat down, introduced myself, and we talked about the representation. He was like, yeah, it's Northwest Florida's always been an outlier. So I made a promise that, okay, by next year, we will have a true full unification. And that was immediately I was texting the clan leader when we got in the parking lot to leave. It's like, dude, here's what happened. Here's what's going on. When I get back, I want to focus on getting our clan built up. And that's been the big part of it. So I can actually honestly say that since, you know, I've been approved in the Mercs, and, you know, I've already built a second suit, I'm just having more fun as a Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I just am.
I've always kind of, I've never acted on it, but the customizability of the Mando costumes compared to stuff like the Imperials.
You still have that list of like parts,
Sure, you've got the
and
checklist
looks you
that
have
you've
to
gotta hit,
follow.
but you know the little things like I was active duty Army, and there was freedom in things like being able to customize certain portions of your kit layout depending on how, you know, nitpicky your command was. They might say these things need to be in these specific locations, but you could still, you know, do what you wanted to do. And that's one of the things that's kind of rankled me. We've talked about it before about the 501st is there's zero customization. You can't move.
It has to look
anything.
like this picture.
Exactly,
Has to look like the
exactly like that one photo. And if it's not on a photo from a screen, then it can't exist. Period. End of story.
Yeah.
Whereas the Mandos have that freedom of being
there's
able to
a lot
mix
more.
and match and you know, move things around where it makes sense. And
Yeah, now, I'm still more of a purist. I like the Star Wars parts. I haven't really delved into the, here's this custom helmet that, you know, you never see on screen.
Yeah.
I've printed them for people. I've finished them for people, and they look neat. I do like them. They do look good.
some of them,
but
some can go a little bit.
Some
too
do
far.
go a little, but you know what? That's your customization.
Sure.
It's your suit.
Absolutely.
It made you happy to do
Absolutely.
it. My opinion means nothing.
It's moot.
Nothing.
Yeah.
As long as you were happy doing it. That's
Yeah.
like one of the main things we've been like really, really pushing. Find you're happy.
Yeah.
Do what makes you happy
Yep.
within the guidelines.
Yeah.
But,
So that
yeah.
was an interesting shift that we saw through the year. I don't know if it was planned quite as much from the early stages of the year.
It
but,
wasn't
you know,
planned the way it was. It was
way that
planned
things
out,
shook out, it wasn't
more
planned.
like, hey, we need these parts for doing these suits, and hey, they're out here
Yeah.
and offered. And there were a couple people that I really think helped kick it off on Instagram. One of them's Alpha Ignition, John Rodriguez. He does the Dad Batch podcast too, out in California, and his buddy Jonah Warford, One Nut King on Instagram. As soon as we released one of the chests, they were both ordering it, and they got it in, and we're immediately tagging and sending to their friends, and it really blossomed. And I mean, I could say too, meeting them, interacting with them, not only on like Instagram and meeting them at DragonCon, it's really changed my perspective a lot because they were just genuinely nice guys.
I think
and-
most people are.
I'm really guarded and really defensive
Yeah.
because I've taken a lot of crap throughout my entire life from kid to adulthood. So it just puts me in the defensive a lot. So I've been like changing my perspective based on that. You know, being a little bit more courteous too. You know, somebody sends a message, you miss it, you don't reply. Hey, at least leave them a little heart on their comment. Let them know you saw it and it's not going to waste. Little things like that. It's the little things. It is the little things. But that's kind of where we went. And, you know, from building up the clan, to being able to offer the variety and the customization, it's like we're not done yet.
which that kind of ties in with the point about the rapid prototyping. We were talking about the printers earlier, because of the printers and the capabilities that you've been able to bring into the shop over the past year, that allowed so much of the Mandalorian stuff to blossom as quickly as it did.
Like one of the comparisons I can give is the Bo-Katan boob plate. So I set up the file to print on the resin, and I set up the same thing to print on, I'll say our old CreateBot F430 FDM printer. Well, the CreateBot was running at, I want to say 35 hours to print it out. And the Jupiter, I think I was able to get it all in one build plate. I had to chop it in one section. I think it came in at like 12 hours. And then...
Not to mention just the finishing time, because
factor
the
in,
FDM has to be sanded and primed and smooth and
factor
cleaned.
in that finishing time. It's like there's no turning back.
Yeah.
And we're printing out of ABS. I mean, we graduated from PLA to ABS printing. I mean, that was a huge leap right there. If you can print, if you're just doing FDM printing, and if you can move up to ABS, do that, because now you're breaking out the palm sanders, and you can really whack away at those print lines and have a lot less finish work than you would with PLA.
And a sturdier product.
That too.
ABS, ABS is much stronger than PLA.
It's more impact resistance. Now, we're still dealing with little bitty layers on top of each other, so there's going to be weak points and adhesion issues. But, I mean, just that leap from PLA to ABS and now resin. And there are a ton of resins available. Like, we've got some high heat resin we're about to try. There's ultra tough resin. So far, the ABS-like resin has been our favorite. It's priced right, it's priced well, readily available, and minimum go with that. So, yeah, in the long run, it's been a wild year.
Taking that idea and kind of looking forward to next year, something that I'm a little bit interested in is with the release of the Amazon Plus Halo series. Regardless of what you think of the series, I know that they have completely thrown the video game canons out the window, and they might as well be writing new stories. That aside, it's driving a new wave of interest in the Halo franchise. And we watched the show at the house, and Jess was like, all right, let's go buy the games, because now I'm interested. So we picked up the games. We've been playing through the games together in co-op, and now I've been more interested. I've been thinking about reaching out to Barry Kiker and being like, hey, I kind of want to do a Halo costume of one sort or another.
Well, you're pretty good with foam. If you want to take that foam route, you can do that.
A foam marine would be really simple to do.
I can tell y'all that through Nerdforge Designs, Fletcher, our 3D artist, we started this back in 2020. Working on his Mark V-B armor, and it's just been in kind of this limbo hiatus here. He got picked up by, I'll just keep it simple and just say a studio, so there's a little conflict of interest, and that's just keeps putting it on the back burner.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we have the labor and capabilities and everything to finish it out right now, but it's like, nah, we got to wait again.
Yeah.
So eventually that will happen, but...
Well, that's
you still don't have to buy everything. You can make something.
But a lot of the people who want to do a Master Chief want that hard armor.
Hey, I'll be glad to print a helmet for you, no problem.
Yeah, helmets and things like that. I'm kind of excited to see, maybe next year we'll see a driven, surge in Halo stuff. And I'm interested to see what sort of stuff we could be able to put out.
And speaking of Amazon series, the Fallout trailer.
Oh
my goodness. Like, that power armor looked so good.
It did.
And I took a deep dive into it. I mean, not too deep, but I kind of looked at it. It was like one guy laying on the ground. It's like I could see his pants through the armor. And it was like, okay, you got to be mobile. So, like, whenever we did our power armor years and years ago, it was set up about the same. I'm not saying it's as good. It's nowhere near as good as what they did. They had a much bigger budget.
Yeah.
For what we did do, that was great. And somebody actually did buy my my suit.
Oh, you sold it off. Okay, good.
It's still here. He's doing a payment plan, and he wanted it repainted to the Nuka-Cola scheme.
Okay.
Like, man, that's the scheme I wanted. Well, at least I get to repaint it to what I wanted before it heads out the door.
Yep.
And it's like, yeah, I don't recommend anyone ever do full Fallout 4 style power armor. If you're going to do it, do the Fallout 3 style. It's safer. It's just a little safer. So
Yeah.
I'm revamping that suit. I'm fixing a few things. I'm going to add a few different details and kind of make it look better. We'll get some pictures next year. I don't think I'm going to really start that until February, because we're just busy. So by the end of February, I'm going to start the repaint and getting all the decals on. And
Well, if he's on a payment plan, you're
he
going to wait
needs it
till
by
he
September.
pay a portion of it
He's
enough
paid
to
a portion
justify the
now,
labor at
and
that
it's
point.
more just
Okay.
our labor time.
Okay.
Because we're still in catch-up mode. Like, as much work as we do, we're still catching up a little bit. We're still on our last 2 oldest aging orders right now. So once those are wrapped up, everything we have is within the past year. Yay. And there's a game plan for attacking those orders right now. There's only 4 or 5 Death Troopers, 4 or 5 Shore Troopers. I know we have 3 clones, and I'm going to be doing those assembly line style. Each box, everything's built, thrown to the side till they're all ready to paint, and then just go through and get all the painting done, and then go through and start getting all the final strapping and stuff done. So we may be building some inventory by summer of 2024, hopefully. We have a couple of commissions. One of them did come in, and one of them, I think he's going to start in February. We're going to be doing we're doing a Book of Boba Fett build for a local. And we have a Captain Enoch from Ahsoka that we're being commissioned to do. He needed to get through the holidays, but he's doing kind of the same thing. We've talked about it a lot, what he wants to do. So a couple little fun commissions. Other than that, I'm looking forward to 2024. You know, I know we're already busy the first 6 months. At least the first 3 months we're pretty slammed. First 6 months, yeah, I can't wait. To get back into the review, like when we rattled off all the things that we were planning on doing this year, a number sticking in my mind was going to be 8 helmets. And I was counting them up earlier today. I know I'm molding the 4th one right now. We had the Tanker, the new Shore Trooper, the generic Death Watch Mandalorian helmet. Right now, the Bo-Katan is under rubber. I poured that rubber earlier today, so by the time this releases, y'all should be able to see castings. I wonder if there's another helmet mold I made. I think that was it. So of 8, we had 4, and we have the live-action Sabine. She's ready to mold. Still have the Moff Gideon, Moff Gideon Alorian, Maul Alorian type helmet. It's ready to mold. That might have been about it. Oh, one of the other ones missing was the Super Commando helmet. That went into print production instead of molding, and that's due to demand and the ease of printing. I can get a whole helmet basically in 24 hours off 2 print files.
And
So
just
it's-
not enough demand to justify.
There's been
doing-
no demand for the
yeah.
Commando. I mean, we did that whole project. And I know a lot of people are waiting on 1, 501st to finish their costume guidelines.
Yep.
And 2, they're waiting for us to actually finish one. We're busy. We're busy. It's the whole kit is sitting in a box behind my workbench. I've got other things I have to do before really doing that. I want to get it done. I want people to wear these. It looks awesome. I just haven't had time to finish it. I've got other things to do. But we did the project. It's there if anyone wants it. I don't even know if I'm going to get to it.
Is it on the website? Can somebody go order? Okay,
Oh, yeah.
well,
they can go order. I've talked to a couple people, and they're like, yeah, we want to see it done. It's like, well, commission one. That's the quickest way to see it done. Get it commissioned, and then we'll definitely do it. But for now, we've just been too busy. Even like new costume choices that I have going into next year, I've got a couple more Mandalorians for me planned. I'm going to do the Season 2 Mandalorian Axe Woves. That's just because I want to. And I want to do a couple of clones. Like I might actually be doing like 3 clones for myself. So, you know, 3 or 4 different costume choices I have for next year. Super Commando's not high on the list.
Yeah.
Like getting back into it, being more active with Mandalorians, I'm really not Imperial anymore. I mean, we'll still sell Imperial supplies because, you know, you got to play both sides, so you always come out on top.
Yep.
You know, we gotta get that Beskar back. You know, we gotta topple the Empire. I still always have a love for, you know, stormtroopers at heart.
Sure. I mean, it's the Stormtrooper's iconic. It's classic.
It is. It's what I always wanted. It's what started this. Wanting a blaster, and then wanting the armor.
And here we are, 25-ish years later.
I can have anything I want.
25 years in review. You just wanted a blaster, and here we are now.
That really is it. Like, it really is. I just wanted a blaster. Well, I think the blaster was my consolation prize. I always wanted the armor. Kind of gave up, started looking for the blaster, found the blaster, then really wanted the armor again. That's kind of how it happened. Yeah, those are memories from pushing 30 years ago now. So, memories of being a prepubescent teenager to a teenager. It's getting kind of gray. Because there's nothing gray.
I was going gray in my
here.
20s, so.
I'm not talking about my hair. I'm talking about what's left of my brain cells.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
That's because you spend all day huffing resin
I do,
paint
man.
fumes.
I'd come in the morning and chop up a line of Bondo. That's how we get things done. Kill a few more brain cells so the others don't get jealous. Can't help it.
Well, what else do we need to cover for the year in review? There's
those
those
brain
three
cells
brain
again.
cells fight with one another trying
Two.
to remember something.
2 brain cells.
I think you're at 3 still.
3. You know, he's limping along, that's for sure. You know, it's been a fun year, and sitting down and getting to spend time with my BFF James, you know, on a weekly to bi-weekly to every couple of month basis to record these. It's great time spent.
I mean,
You live 5 minutes down the street, for crying out loud. You need to pop
I'm
in
sorry.
more.
I had a death in the family. I got really sick, and then I busted up my knee and literally couldn't walk.
Well, you're not going to do well at the next convention, are you?
No, I'm not really looking forward to it.
Ooh, do we need to get you a wheelchair? We need to do you like a Professor X or something so we can wheel you around.
I've thought about that, but I don't want to shave my head.
No, you don't want to shave your beard.
I don't want to shave my
Shave
beard.
your head, no problem.
Yeah, I
as
have
long as
no
you're
issue
sure
with
it's going
the
to grow
head.
back. Yeah,
I would
no
absolutely,
problem.
bick it with a razor. I would absolutely shave my head, but it stops right here. Everything below is sacrosanct.
Yeah, I'm going to leave that one alone. I won't humiliate him publicly.
No,
I've given him
don't
enough shit
humiliate
the
him.
past week.
Don't humiliate him.
We love you, Larry.
Oh, now you named him.
I did, but
shamed
nobody
him
knows what
publicly.
he did.
Yeah, they haven't seen it.
Oh, my goodness, it's so scary. Oh, just grow back, please, grow back. Well, we'll look forward into 2024. So right off the bat, probably as this is airing, we will be at Fan Expo New Orleans in New Orleans at the convention center there. I can't remember what it's called right now, but we're going to be hanging out with Bast Alpha, Garrison, and sorry, I don't remember the Mando clan name. I saw it a few times. It's just not sticking in my head yet. Oh, excuse me. So that'll be 4 of us. James and I will be there. Larry will be there. James's wife will be there. And, well, at least her physical form will be there. We'll find out if she's going to be there mentally or not.
Oh, she'll be there.
She'll be there.
She has too much fun at conventions.
Good, because we're looking forward to that. Then it'll be me, Lisa, Cora, and Larry will all be at MegaCon at the end of January, first part of February. Really looking forward to that. We had a blast last year. And, yeah, we'll be at the Bash Friday night. Well, I'll be at the Bash Friday night. Everyone, all of us will be at the joint dinner. And then 2-3 weeks after that, we have Pensacon. So that's why we're like slam the first, definitely 2 months, 3 conventions in less than 2 months is a lot. So I need a little breathing room window. I'm looking forward to going. I've been busting butts since Thanksgiving, you know, kind of nonstop back in my old working ways. So, you know, getting out of town for a couple of days and, you know, seeing people, and that's why I'm looking
even just
forward to
the
it.
local convention. I mean, I know that Pensacon has its myriad issues that we are familiar with from over the past years, but it's the way that sort of the entirety of downtown Pensacola embraces it, and it's not just the convention inside the Civic Center. It's the convention all across downtown.
Sure.
Really kind of makes,
And that's like such a good thing and a bad thing about Pensacon, because you go to a big convention like Fan Expo, MegaCon, DragonCon, they're all kind of like centered in one place, either a convention center or like 5 hotels that are all right next to each other. Pensacon is a little bit more spread out, and like the number one drama with it around here is it's mainly held in what's called the Pensacola Bay Center, which was built in, I don't know, late 70s.
Yeah, something like that.
And it's just not indicative to a convention.
Conducive, not conducive.
Okay, James.
Just
fine.
use the right
Conducive.
word.
I don't want to use the right words.
Speak clearly.
My brain cells. Okay, it's not conducive indicative. Whatever, it works. People knew what I meant. I mean, it's not bad. It's just like the dealer room is probably half the size of what you'd think it could be, and it's like shoulder to shoulder. It's a pain to get in sometimes. And then if you like center your convention around there, your next venues are a really long walk away. If you walk it, I mean, you almost have to drive it, Uber it to get there.
Well, but the city helps out with that. The shuttles and everything.
Yeah,
like
they do
that,
have
the
shuttles.
trolleys.
I mean, we're usually stuck at the base center for everything anyway.
Yeah,
It's just
most
where
of the stuff during the
end
day.
up. They have done a good job of like spreading some stuff to the outside areas and opening it up, weather permitting. So that helps a lot.
Yeah.
Come on, Pensacola City Council. We need a convention center. Okay, it will bring in money to Pensacola.
I'm willing to bet it's something like that is probably already in the works. You've seen the stuff about they're looking at increasing the maximum height limit for the downtown like high rises.
Yeah, and we're
things
getting like
that.
a new Hilton hotel or something where some old restaurant was. I can't remember the name of it right now. And I mean, it's not a huge hotel, but it's a Hilton. It's got multiple floors, like, buildings do. And there's no parking whatsoever. I saw the concept art.
Oh, I haven't seen the concept art.
It's pretty neat. I mean, the
there's
city
probably
council
already plans for a new parking garage somewhere in the downtown
I'm
area.
sure. And it's Old World Landing. I think that's what they're tearing down.
Oh, yeah.
Old World Landing.
That's right behind the Ailstock, Whitkin, Crease, and Overholtz building.
Oh boy, Jess is gonna love that. Love all the construction going on. Hopefully their building's soundproofed. They'll have parking. It's just our downtown is weird.
It's in transition.
Yeah,
It's in transition.
weird. But please, city council, just do it. You built a baseball stadium for a minor league team. There's land right across the street from it. Put it there, where old sewer treatment plant was.
there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. They
There
can't
are.
just
It's planning. Even though it's a city and they could probably rubber stamp some permits, they got to have the right funding and everything. But I can imagine a convention center with maybe a basketball arena and a couple of attached hotels. They've got the space for it right across the street from the stadium.
right across from the
And
ballpark.
not only do they already have existing events that can be put there,
It would open up the door for much bigger, much larger events.
Exactly. Like you could see 2 conventions here a year, easily.
Yeah.
The basketball thing, whether you follow sports or not, I'm sure a minor league team could move here, or they could get one into one of the minor leagues. That'll help fund things. Lord knows we need more hotels around downtown. We have Like 1, 2 maybe. No, we
They
have.
they need to redo the Grand, but that's going to cost so much money.
That's already in progress. They had to make the Hurricane Sally repairs, and then I want to say it was Marriott was closing the transaction after those.
Okay.
repairs.
See, I heard it had fallen through, and there was not going to be.
That may be more updated. That's the last I heard.
Yeah.
So you may know more than I do at that point. I've barely ever been in the Grand.
People don't care about our local issues.
No, they
so that's neither here nor there as far as YouTube is concerned.
Well, it shows them the passion that we have for our area and wanting it to be better.
Yeah.
Because I'm not moving. I'm
Or
stuck.
just wanting better conventions in general.
Oh, well, let's not get sued now. We're not saying Pensacon is bad. We're not, bad mouthing.
No, but there's always room for improvement.
Room for improvement. There's plenty of times.
We're not saying that Pensacon is bad, allegedly.
No.
It is allegedly not bad.
It's allegedly fun to go out and hang out with your friends.
Allegedly.
While there, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah, I have a good time.
Allegedly, it's a good time.
Yeah, I don't care about anything else. I care about hanging out with my friends while we're there. That's what I really care about at Pensacon. Getting to spend time with you in costume and my other friend. See, friends, plural. Two
What
people.
else do we need to cover? Anything special for the year in review? Anything that comes to mind?
Not really. Just keep tuning in and keep watching us. Follow along on all our social media stuff, especially our stories. That's been the format we've been on for the majority of 2023, is mostly keeping stories updated daily that we're working and kind of doing either bigger posts or like weekly bigger post recaps, or hey, we've just finished up this really cool stuff. So, we're not trying to attack and spam everyone's social media feeds because we all see enough, and I don't want you all tuning out because they're just trying to sell something. It's like, nah, we're just kind of proud of what we're doing.
I mean, yes, we do like to sell stuff.
The bills need to be paid, so we do unfortunately have to keep selling things.
But the bottom line is that we're in this because we really enjoy it.
Yeah, we really do. There's so many things that we make that really never get photographed and featured either that we're really proud of. So we just like see the enjoyment when y'all are getting it. That's really about it. Follow, share, like, all that fun stuff, because it helps us out, gets the word out, lets everyone see that we're human, and that's about it for me. Hope you all had a Merry Christmas. Hope you had a Happy New Year.
Yeah,
And
it'll be after New Year's at the time y'all are viewing this.
And we'll see you next time. Bye. Huh?
No, there's no sponsor
No,
this week.
we had a sponsor.
No, there's no sponsor this week.
Just for you.
We're going to get sued or something.
It's
we're gonna
free
get,
advertisement.
We're going to get a cease and desist from Raid Shadow Legends.
Today's video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends, one of the biggest mobile role-playing games of 2019, and it's totally free.
They're going to be like, stop. We don't want you pretending that we're sponsoring you.
Why not? They sponsor everybody else. Well, you got like
Everybody does
NordVPN.
gaming. We don't do gaming in any way. So.
We can start reviewing it. Yeah. So no sponsor, but actually I will give you another preview in 2024. How about that? One more 2024 preview. So the podcast format is going to change a little bit, starting with the table. Of all things, the table.
They've already seen that.
Yeah, they've seen the table. So there's your preview. We have been recording like every 2 weeks whenever we're consistently. We may drop that down to once a month.
Oh, yeah.
Now, we may still do one every couple of weeks if we have a special guest. We'll probably do one like with just James and I. If we have a guest to bring in, then we'll probably do a special episode featuring that guest. We wanted to have
or if
more,
there's a particularly exciting project that's being worked on or
but
something like that.
We wanted to have more guests in. It's just schedules don't always mesh up with everybody. It's like we're recording this on a Thursday, and I thought, oh, man, Gaines Tidwell is coming in tomorrow. You know, it's like, oh, if he could have been here today, he could have been a great guest for us because I've been wanting to have Gaines on for a while. He's a fun dude.
His schedule just hasn't worked out. We've tried a couple of times.
And he's here from out of town visiting family over the holidays. So it's like, oh, that stinks. But we are going to focus on a direction going forward in 2024. So this is going to come as a complete and total surprise for James, who unfortunately is crippled. But we're going to go through and push through it anyway. We're going to do a series for you on how to design your Mandalorian. And we're going to take it step by step on what I really recommend you should be doing when you're starting to plan your suit. And we're going to start it and use James as the example. So we're going to design a Mandalorian for James. And we'll take y'all step by step, every little thing that we do and recommend going through it. And by the end of the year, he will have a Mandalorian. Join our clan.
All right.
It's not a cult. Not a cult. It's a clan.
The fact that you had to put that disclaimer in there, it's not a cult.
I made up some Kool-Aid in the fridge. Swear it's not poisoned.
Well, that definitely is a surprise for me. I had been thinking about doing a Mando just, to be one of the cool kids because that's what everybody's doing these days. But
we are cooler.
I had not decided on pulling the trigger on that. So I'm excited.
We are having
I'm
more
forward
fun.
To that.
We are having more fun.
I don't doubt it.
It is a lot more like wearing street clothes with like just a little bit of armor on it.
Yeah.
Like,
that's the biggest attractor for me is as I get older and my back continues to get worse and worse, and now my knees and my hips are going. It's like the hard armor with the really limited mobility and stuff. It's like I don't know if I want to go put that costume on for this event because it's painful.
And we were talking earlier about the customization, and what's really, really neat is you get everything done, and then you go like, well, I didn't like that color blue over here, or man, I can't believe I painted my chest orange. Something like that. Yeah. Or, man, this helmet's just not jiving with the rest of the suit. Let me do another helmet. So the customization.
Yeah.
Like from the time I did my first test fit, looked at the photos, and kind of like felt a couple things, just like, nah, let's do something else. And switched it out and was happy. So, yay, James got a surprise and was genuinely surprised. Yay. All right, guys, that is actually it this time. So see y'all later, and y'all enjoy January. Bye now.